Now, this operating environment sometimes is also referred to as task environment. And once after we discussed micro environment, we had discussed regarding macro environment. Now, speaking about this, we had discussed a lot of this when we had discussed regarding international business environment, and when you had discussed, entrepreneurship and small business environment. So the elements we had, you know, we tried to just discuss it in a very very brief way. So we discussed demographic environment, economic environment. Under economic environment, you will always have three things, that is economic conditions, economic policies, economic system. And you have natural environment, you have technological environment, you have political environment, and you have socio-cultural environment and legal environment. Now, speaking about this, once again, the list is not exhaustive. It is only that these are the major influence on the business environment of any organization. So we were discussing this particular slide where we had discussed about this was the first one, that is micro environment. You have the main influencers to be the suppliers or the market intermediaries, the competitors, the customers, publics. Or when you tell it in terms of financial matters, we usually consider them to be the stakeholders of the organization, or the ones who would be having any kind of stake or any kind of connection with the organization are the ones whom we refer to as stakeholders. Now, most of the time, stakeholders are the ones who make up the micro environment for any of the organization. Now, under macro environment, these were the things that you had seen. Now, what you can see on the slide, you have this MEGA or the international factors. So, what could be this? So, when we tell mega environment, it mainly consists of the international environment also. Now, this international environment, it is very important from the point of especially certain categories of business, especially for import and export industries or to the world trade linkage. Now, when we speak of such kind of environment, this mega environment or MEGA environment, it becomes relevant or it becomes important. Now, when you speak of import and export dependencies, you have industries which directly depend on either the imports or exports. Now, for them to do any kind of business, the basic thing that they'll do is either they'll have to import goods from where outside the country, or they'll have to export the goods to from India to outside the country. Now you have import competing industry. Now when that is the case, a boom in the export market, it changes in the government regulations. Maybe the exempt policy may encourage export oriented industries. So, or some other kinds of government regulations like a liberation of imports may also help some industries, which uses imported items, but will also have an adverse effect on the competing industry. So now, whatever happens in the business, now it is not that it affects only a certain element of the environment. Now it would act like a chain reaction, chain chemical reaction, what we can say. Now, the effect you can observe over other industries or over other elements which are majorly depend upon where the changes happen. The next is world trade linkage. Now, now, when we speak of world trade linkage, one topic that we can discuss a lot is regarding the oil price or the oil industries. Now, this oil price, its hike has seriously impacted many economies. Now, this has further, led to an increase in the cost of production, and when cost of production increases, undoubtedly the prices of products also increase. Now prices of the product, even such as fertilizers, synthetic fabrics, will also be affected. So such development, it affects the demand, the consumption, and even the investment pattern. So the international environment, what we call, it is an outcome of political and economic condition in the international market. Now, business firms engaged in the foreign trade are more affected by the changes in the internal, environment factors like could be war. It can also be, some kind of civil disturbance or political instability, or the changes what happens in the trade policies in the countries where the organization is having business. So therefore business firms now which cater to foreign trade, they must constantly monitor implications of international environment on their business. The components of international environment, if you want to name few, would be like, could be the import and export policy of a country, or rules and regulations which has been laid on by international institutions like IMF or International Monetary Fund, what we call it as, or the World Bank. Now, it could be the policies of trading blocs like SARC, EEC, or ASEAN, and you'll also have foreign exchange regulations like the tariffs, the quotas, and you have trade cycles. Trade cycles will be different for different economies. And when you consider, one trade cycle for the entire world, it would be something different. You would be having boom, recession. So all these things will definitely affect how a business shall be conducted by a business organization. So these are some of the things that we should have discussed under the elements of the business environment. All that you have to remember is whenever you speak about environment, the entire business environment, it is divided into two. The one is the internal environment, the other is the external environment. Now when you speak about the internal environment, all those elements which are exclusively for one particular business organization. All those elements over which the business organization will be having full control to manipulate things, those things are considered to be the internal environment. Things like the mission of the company, the corporate culture in the company, the ethics, the mission, the vision, the objectives, or the management of the organization. All these things are the internal environment. Now, when we speak about the external environment, there you would be having two main things, that is the micro environment and the macro environment. Now, micro environment is something which is external to the business organization, but some part of it can be manipulated by the business. Now, all the stakeholders would make up the micro circle of a business environment, especially things like the suppliers, the customers, the intermediaries, and the government at large and the public. Now, in the outermost circle, we shall be having the macro environment. Now, macro elements are something over which the business organization will not be having any kind of control. It could be the economic condition of the country, it could be the political conditions of the country, it could be the demographics and all such other elements. Now after this you have something called as mega environment, wherein which we are considering the environment of the entire globe, taking into consideration today's way of doing business and how things are being carried out. There we spoke about the import and export dependency and world trade linkage. Now the question is, what is the significance or need of the study of business environment? So now it is essential, for a business enterprise to keep itself very much aware of the surrounding environment. Now that is important mainly because the success of business to a great extent shall depend on its business environment. Now that is the main purpose. Now if you have to point out, you have things like studying the business environment will help a business organization to frame policies. Now it is something which will ensure that the resources of the organization shall be optimally utilized. Now, understanding the business environment will help analyze competitor strategies, and if at all it is necessary, the organization can formulate the countermeasures. Now, knowing the business and understanding the changes that happens in the environment, it should always keep the business dynamic and also innovative. Now, business environment it provides input for decision making, and when you analyze the environment, when you analyze your own business organization, it will always let you know the strength of the business on one hand, and if at all there are any kind of weaknesses that is present, it would definitely help in identifying all those weaknesses of the business. And in this regard, it will also help in finding out the opportunities which are available to the business. And if at all there are any kind of threats, it will help identify the threats posed to the business. It will you know it will also let the business organization know its internal environment in a better way. It will help in understanding the market condition. And when you know what is happening, it will also help the business organization to adjust with the technological advancement. Now, technology is something which is ever changing. So, we might not be able to, frequently change the technology that we use in our business organization. But to a far extent, we can always adjust to what is happening in the business environment. Now, it will also help in understanding international events, and if there are any kind of impact of such business on the business, it will also help in understand economic policies of government and their impact on business. It will also help in understanding political situations and its effect on business. And it will also foresee the impact of socio-cultural environment on the impact of the socio-cultural factor on the business. So these are quite a few things which I have said in a very brief way. Now once again the list is not exhaustive and it is not at all necessary that you write in a point wise. Uh, you know it very well what business environment is. Just you have to put it in words. Why is it important that we study it? In your own words, if you are able to tell, that is more than enough. Now once you know why is it important, there is one more side of the coin which says that no matter how good a thing is, there should always be some kind of problem. So what is the problem that we might face in understanding the environment influence? We do all these kinds of analysis. We study the business environment. Based on this, we shall try to understand the strength, weakness, the opportunities that are available, threats. We'll come up with a very good strategy. We'll implement it in a good way. Yet sometimes it might not be what the organization wants. And the worst of all, it might be, it might work against what the organization wants it to be. So there are the main things that we'll have to understand is that the managers of any business organization, they'll have to deal with various problems in various situations with regarding to this business environment. It could be the issue relating to the business environment. It opens, more challenges for managers, and these challenges are such which makes decision making more difficult. So managers, while making decision, they'll have to convince all the possible environment influence. However, getting an overall picture of the whole business environment definitely is a tedious task. It is tedious, it is tiresome, and it is also time consuming. So that is the main problem. The second problem faced by the manager is the uncertainty element that is there in analyzing the business environment. So the management and managers, they are expected to be well aware of ever changing technologies. Now this is what we tell in terms of theory, but when it happens practically or in reality, these changes are definitely happening at the faster pace than ever before. So it becomes difficult to predict all the changes, and as a result, few of the changes are either predictable or unpredictable by the managers. So managers are trying to develop better understanding of the events taking place in the future in the external environment in order to avoid uncertainty. The managers have to face complex and rigid problems relating the business environment. Uh, and this they'll have to do while they are attempting to resolve, even more complex problems that are existing. So the managers, they have to take risk to work in accordance with the environment. So these are quite a few things that we have to discuss in uh, business environment. Now the things what has been specifically mentioned in your syllabus. The first one is environmental forecasting. Now we spoke about this micro, the macro environment. Now this macro environmental and industrial scanning, what we call, they are only marginally useful if all they do is reveal current condition. Okay, it's like it's a time consuming thing and it would not be of much help. So for any kind of this industrial scanning or the analysis, for them to be truly meaningful, all such analysis, they must forecast future trends and changes. Now definitely it shall be a they might do it on a probability basis. Now the chances of happening and not happening of all this event is equal. But then based on past trends, based on the experience and trends what might happen in future, forecasting or analysis shall only be meaningful when it forecasts the trends and changes. So environmental forecasting is a technique which is used especially by the managers to man, or we can tell it as it is an attempt made by managers to predict the future characteristics of the organizational environment, and hence making decision today that will help the firm to deal with the environment of tomorrow. That is the main aim of environmental forecasting. Now when we speak about environmental forecasting, Forecasting involves the use of both statistical and non-statistical and quantitative techniques. Now, now you might have been heard of things like time series analysis or judgmental forecasting or multiple scenarios, and you have also heard about Delphi techniques. All this helps in forecasting the business environment. So now speaking of forecasting, to define it, it is a process of predicting. Now the work that is done here is you predict or you estimate something. So the question is, what is that we have to estimate or what is that we are predicting? We are predicting the future, and the future that we are predicting, it shall be based on the past and the present data. So business forecasting, it can be broadly considered as a method or a technique for estimating many future aspects of a business or other operations that are related to business. Now, planning for the future is one of the critical aspects of managing any of the organization we consider. And small business enterprises are also no exception for this. So this forecasting, it provides information about the potential future events and also uncertainty of the future. However, it increases the confidence of the management to make more important decision. Now if I have to give a definition for this, the forecasting is a way of estimating the future events that will have a major impact on the enterprise. So it is estimating the future events that have a major impact on the enterprise. So this environmental forecasting is a technique whereby the managers or the top level management, whom we call as general, they attempt to predict the future characteristics of the organization, especially those which are connected to the environmental aspect, and hence make decision based on all this prediction today that will be helping the firm deal with the environment tomorrow. So now the definition, it has been put up in your slide. For those who think it is necessary, you can take it down or take a screenshot of it. So, and it says estimating the intensity, nature and timing of the external force that may affect the performance of a firm, disrupt its plans or force a change in its strategies. Now the steps that is involved in environmental forecasting. Uh, as you can see, the first step is you'll have to identify the relevant environmental variables. Once you identify which elements are relevant, you'll have to collect all this information which possibly you can collect based on this relevant environmental variables. Now once you think that you have collected enough information, the next step is you'll have to select the forecasting technique. Once you select the forecasting technique and they have implemented it, the final step is monitoring. So each one of it we shall see it in detail. Now, when we speak about the steps in environmental forecasting, the steps are first one is identification of relevant environmental variables. Now, before managers they can begin to formulate an effective strategy, the first thing that they'll have to do is they must make a critical examination of the firm's environment. Now, all the environment variables they do not have the same relevance to all industries. But then, for your business organization, you'll have to come up with a model or you'll have to come up with a theory, what we can call as, regarding those environmental variables which exclusively matters for our business organization. Now, yeah, if you consider your competitor also, what matters to their organization might be far different from what affects our organization. So, in brief, what we can tell is that all the variables do not have the same relevance to all the organization or all the industries. So assessing the strategic situation is the first phase in determining the content of the proper strategies for a firm. So this process begins with an assessment of the general environment of the firm. Now in terms of it could be economic, technological, social and political or the legal influences. Now, the best example is the price of the petroleum products, or speaking about industry, the diesel price is a critical factor. If you have to be specific, maybe for railways, which uses diesel as the energy source, but this shall not be having any kind of effect on the electric train industry. So that is how dynamic the business environment is, or that is one of the characteristics where we can tell that what is relevant for my industry may not be relevant for somebody else's industry. So if at all there are any kind of omission of critical variables, that can be a problem. Not only omitting or omission of a critical variable is a problem, but in the process if at all you include non-relevant variables, then it shall definitely have same kind of problems. That is, the information that we collect of some non-relevant variables, or if at all we omit the important ones, then these could have misleading effects. Excuse me. So that is with regarding the first step. The second one is collection of environment. Sorry, collection of information. Now, once the environmental variables once the environmental variables are identified, the next step is to collect the information that is needed and that is relevant is equally important. So it involves the identification of source of information and determination of the type of information to be collected, the selection method that is to be used of data collection and also collection of information. So once after that is done, the third step is selection of forecasting technique. So the choice of forecasting technique, it depends upon the nature of the forecasting decision, the amount and the accuracy of the available information. So accuracy required, the time which is available, the importance of the forecasting, the cost, and other related information becomes important here. Now, once after we select the forecasting technique, the next fact is that monitoring. So, monitoring is very important as the characteristics of the variable or their trends may undergo change. Now, further, new variables may emerge as critical or the relevance of certain variables may decline. So all these things therefore becomes necessary to monitor the changes because one basic characteristics of the environment, it is ever changing or what we call as it is dynamic in nature. So ever changing definitely makes it necessary that we monitor what is happening. Now, speaking about in terms of strategic management or strategic managers. Now, these strategic managers, they must not only understand the correct state of environment and their industry, but also they should be able to forecast the future states. Moreover, once having implemented the environmental analysis process, management should continually evaluate and strive to improve it. So in this regard, we can see the types of forecasting. Now, speaking about the types of forecasting, here we have economical forecasting, we have social forecasting, we have political forecasting, and we have technological forecasting. Now we shall take the first one, that is economic forecasting. Now, as an economic environment is a very important or critical determinant of business prospect, economic forecasting are also very important. Now, the economic factors often considered include general economic condition, gross domestic product growth, uh, or per capita income, the structural changes that happens in gross domestic product or what we call as GDP. Now investment and output rates in different sector and subsectors or industries. Now price trends, trade and balance of payment trends. So all these things are the techniques of economic forecasting. Your standard of living index, the per capita income index, or the GDP, what we have, the GNP. So all this comes under economic forecasting. The second one that we have is social forecasting. Now social trends, they have significant implication for business strategy. So it is therefore very essential to forecast the possible changes in the relevant social variables. Now the important factors include population growth. It also includes population decline also for some of the economies, or even things like ethnic composition. So what is this ethnic composition? Now whenever we speak of ethnic composition, a group of individuals um, or a group or a set of people, those who have similarities with one another, especially in relation to language or the culture that they follow, the history of and the community. Now all these are ethnic composition or what we can call as ethnicity. Now sometimes they share common practice or religion, or style of fashion, and so on. Now, many who have shared ancestral heritage, they will often have a similar genetic pool. So, large groups such as tribes or clans may be divided into smaller groups, or even different groups may be united to create a single community. So, all this, so this is one of the things that comes under social forecasting. You have things like lifestyle also. So now if we have to define this lifestyle, now lifestyle is the interest, it can be opinions, it includes behaviors, and also it includes behavioral orientation of a set of people or individual or a group or a culture. Now, this lifestyle, this term, it was introduced by one of the Australian psychologists, Alfred Adler, in one of his books in the year 1929. The book was named as The Case of Miss R. Now, it meant a person's basic characteristic as established early in childhood is nothing but the lifestyle. So the broader sense of lifestyle is a way or style of living in the general public. Now this particular meaning, it has been recorded since 1961. So this lifestyle, it is a combination of determining intangible or tangible factors. Now tangible factors, when we tell, it relates specifically to demographic variables, that is, an individual's demographic profile, whereas intangible factors, they concern to the psychological aspects of an individual, such as personal values, preferences, and also it includes the outlooks. Now that is to tell, a rural environment, it has different lifestyle compared to an urban area. Now, location is also important, within an urban scope. So the nature of the neighborhood in which a person lives affects the style of lifestyle available to that person, especially due to the difference between various neighborhood degrees of affluence and proximity to nature and cultural environment. For example, in areas near the sea, there might be a surf culture, or lifestyle can often be present there, which is far more different than a lifestyle what you can see over people who reside maybe in desert region or a hilly region. Now speaking about this social forecasting, under that you have even the social attitudes. So now lifestyle is entirely different from social attitudes. So a social attitude is defined as a behavior pattern or anticipatory set or tendency, predisposition to specific adjustment, or more simply a condition, a response to a social stimuli is social attitude. And when we speak about social forecasting, there you even have income levels. Now that is some of the ways how we can forecast the social variables within the business environment. Then you have political forecast. Now under political forecast, it has an important part in envisioning, uh, the future properly, or the business scenario in a better way. Now it includes things like changes in relative power, maybe of a political party, or the political alliance, and even the political ideologies. So this political forecast, it also covers industrial policies, commercial policy, and fiscal policy. So international political development also becomes important with this regard. So now we shall see some of the importance of forecasting. Now all these things we have already discussed, but if at all I have to put it in words, forecasting it provides relevant and reliable information about the past and present events and the likely future events. Now this is necessary for a good planning or forecasting what we have to do in the business organization. Now it gives confidence to the managers for making important decisions. Now it is the basis for making planning premises. Now it keeps managers active and also allowed to face the challenges of future events and also to face changes in the environment. Not only with this regard, now for any business, for them to adjust and be the market leader, they definitely have to manage all these things in the business environment. Yes. Now, this topic is something which we have discussed over and over again. So, any external thing that you have to add, you can always put it up. See, but what you can remember is that this business and its environment, they are closely related, and the effect of the interaction of the two is something which leads to the success of business. Now, this business environment or forecasting of the business environment is complex, and principally it is a combination of many factors, like to name the political variable, the economic variable, the legal variable, the social variable, the cultural variable, the technological variable, and as such. Now, environment is dynamic. Now, it is a mixture of many factors which are constantly changing. Now, any particular change that happens in the environment, it may not affect all the business in a similar way. So, every single change that happens in this business environment, they shall be having both short term and long term impact on business. So the success of business depends to a greater extent on its business environment. So the strategic managers, they have to face different circumstances in their business, like diversity of environment changes, uncertainty, complex and rigid nature of problems. So with this regard we shall now say environmental scanning, or the meaning of environmental scanning, and the factors that we have to consider when we do environmental scanning. Now all these things we have discussed, but we shall see it in a way where we can brush up things, we can remember things, or what we call as a revision. Because skipping any topic is not the justification that we can give for something what we have already discussed. So no matter we have discussed this thrice, four times, if it speaks of it in your syllabus, we are definitely going to discuss it. So the next thing that we can discuss in a very brief way is environmental scanning. Now this environmental scanning, as the name suggests, it relates to examining and understanding the environment in which a business organization exists. So why do we do? We speak so much about business environment. We spoke so many elements, the techniques, the use, the significance of it, the problems that are included in this. But why do we do? That is the basic question. Why do we take up such a hectic thing? For the success of the organization, definitely yes. But we do all these things so that it can facilitate strategic decision making. Now it refers to studying both internal as well as external environment and thereby analyzing its impact on the business opportunity. So it also includes, making prior judgment about the risk and uncertainties that the business may have to encounter in the coming future. Now, if I have to tell it in terms of management thinker or somebody who has defined it, now one of the management writer called as Hunger, he has pointed out that environmental scanning is nothing but it is the monitoring, evaluating, and disseminating of information from external and internal environment, so as to keep people within the corporation. And this person, he also tells that this environmental scanning, it is a tool which is used by corporations to avoid any kind of strategic surprise and thereby ensure long-term organizational health. So this is the opinion of Hunger. Now there is one more management writer called as Azhar Kazmi. I'll repeat the name, it is Azhar Kazmi. There are two names. First name is Azhar, that is Azhar Kazmi, Kazmi. Now this management thinker, in his book titled Business Policy and Strategic Management, he defines environmental scanning, it is a process using which any business organization, they try monitoring the relevant environment so that they can identify opportunities and the threats which defects their business is something what we can call as environmental scanning. Now the definition I shall repeat it once again. It is given by Azhar Kazmi in his book Business Policy and Strategic Management. I quote him: the process by which organizations monitor their relevant environment to identify opportunities and threats defecting their business is known as environmental scanning. So the business function, in an environment which is ever changing, as the environment is known to be dynamic. Therefore, the scanning of the environment has to be real fast and also it has to be a regular process. Now, the environmental scanning, it cannot be a one-time action in a business. Now, in the same way, how it is necessary that we take food, no matter how many times in a day, we take it every time we are hungry. In the same way, for a business to be successful, the environmental scanning should not be, something which is a one-time action. It has to be continuous. Once you stop it, the process starts again. So, in fact, it is constantly watching the external environment and also microscoping of the internal environment. Now, this environmental scanning, it provides a broader perspective to the management and planning department to formulate plans and strategies. Now, in other words, it is the process which helps organization to observe the environment in which they function. Now, in order to identify the opportunities and the threats of their business. Okay. Now we have discussed things regarding to environmental scanning. Now, some of the things that we consider here, if you remember it, is the events, the trends, the issues, and the expectations. Now, these are the few things that we would be considering under environmental scanning. That is, events, trends, issues, and expectations. Now, what are these events? Now, whenever we tell events, these are something which is relevant in specific incidents. Now, this takes place in different environmental factors. So, those are called as events. Events are relevant and specific incidents which takes place in the different environmental factors. So, what is trends? Now, trends are the general course of action along which all these events takes place. First, you have events, then we have trends. Events is what happens, or what has happened. Now what has happened, when that becomes relevant or important, that is something we call it as event. Now, because of what has happened, that is regarded as trend. Now, the third thing that we consider here is issues. So, what are these issues? Now, when we tell issue, now issues are the current matters which may arise as a result of both the event and the trend. That we regard it as issue. So, I shall repeat it once again. Issues are the current matters which may arise as a result of events and trends. Now, the fourth one that we consider here is expectations. Now, we tell expectations. Now, these expectations are the demands and requirements of the concerned group which happens in view of trends and issues. So you have events. Because of events, there is trends which is connected to it. Now, then we have issues which are based on both events and trends, and we have expectations. Now, expectations basically they are demands, or they are basically the requirements of certain group. Now, these demands or requirements, they have arisen keeping in view of the trends and issues. Now, this might be easier with the help of our example. So, we shall take into consideration the example of gas leakage incident which has happened in Bhopal. Now, if you remember the date, it has happened in 1984. Now, we shall take into consideration this particular event. So, what is the event? The accident of gas leakage itself is the event here. Now, because of this one hazardous event, what was the trend that has happened? Now, the authorities and the organization which were doing such kind of business, they had to be conscious about the safety from hazardous exposure to the chemicals. Now that was the trend. All other industries which were doing similar kind of business, now it and the authorities that is concerned with issuing license or any other matter. Now all those industries and organizations, now this particular event, it made them to be conscious about the safety and also hazardous exposure to chemicals. So what is the issue that we can see here? Now the issue here is a raising concern about environmental pollution is the issue. So what is the expectation that we have, which has arisen because of this event and the issue? Now the expectation is to legislate, changes in the rules and regulations pertaining to safety measures and also strict enforcement through various mechanisms. So now it might be easier for you to understand what event is, what a trend is, what is the issue with regard to that, and what is the expectation that has to be followed. Now this particular example, uh, it has been taken from uh, Kazmi 2010 Strategic Management and Business Policy, third edition. Now, this environmental scanning process, it enables any organization to analyze the influence uh, in various situations and changes what happens in the environment, which exert influence on the strategic management process. Now, since the environment facing any organization is complex, and its scanning is absolutely essential. If no matter how complex it is, scanning is something necessary. And strategists, especially individuals or in groups who are internal or external, they are concerned with and they play a role in strategic management. They have to deal cautiously with the process of environmental scanning. So, what might be the objective of environmental scanning? Now, basically, there are two objectives. The first one is it makes an effort to deal with the important issues which impacts the business and avoid wasting time and effort on irrelevant factors that are present in the business organization. Now also it enables uh, that it is important to devise an approach or a combination of approach to environmental scanning. Now these two are the basic objective of environmental scanning. The first one is to make an effort, especially to deal with the important issues which impact the business, and also avoid wasting time and effort on irrelevant factors. The next one is to enable that it is important to devise an approach or a combination of approaches to environmental scanning. So next we shall see the need for environmental scanning. Now environmental scanning is especially important for some of the reasons. These reasons we can name them one by one. Need for and prime influence. So what could be this? Now environment is something which impacts the effectiveness of business strategies majorly. So the strategic planning it can be undertaken without taking environmental into account, as any change in the environmental factors affect the business decision. So in addition, the successful implementation of strategies will always depend on the environment. So that is the first main reason why we have. Second one is it is a tool to anticipate change. Now environmental scanning, it is one of the effective tools, especially for predicting the changes that may happen in the environmental factors in the near future. Now, it not only makes an organization aware of its business surroundings, but it will also prepare it to face the challenge which might happen in the future. And third one is this environment is a tool for adjusting time in the business decision making process. Now, environmental scanning gives time to an organization to adjust according to the changing environment. Now, as business may have to come across sudden changes in the environment, environmental scanning helps the organization in adapting to the changes by predicting them beforehand. Yes, it acts as a early warning system. Now, the scanning process, if at all it is done properly, it may predict the adverse changes in the business environment and also helps the organization in developing a defense mechanism to counter all these adverse changes. So these are some of the reasons which acts as a need for environmental scanning. So to now approaches to environmental scanning. This particular topic it has been taken by Kubr, okay, uh, management writer called as Kubr, and he has given three approaches which can be to organize the information for the process of environment. With regard to that, the first one is systematic approach. Now, um, gathering this information for environmental scanning which have a direct impact on organizational activities or the government, the policy statements, relating to the business and industry, or keeping a track of, all the alterations and taking the same into account. This is called a systematic approach. Now, the information so collected shall necessarily need to be updated to the strategic management team for strategic decision making and also for making changes in the operational activities. Now, this is what normally happens, the systematic approach, by wherein which you gather information for especially for the purpose of environmental scanning. Now, you shall gather all those information which will have a direct impact on the organization activities, and you should always keep a track of all the alterations and you consider all this information and you inform it to the strategic management team. Now, once after they understand the entire scenario, they shall do the strategic decision making. Now, ad hoc approach. Now, in this process or in this ad hoc approach, what organization does is that they periodically conduct special projects and thereby evaluate, existing strategies, and on the basis of what they do, they shall also formulate new strategies. Now, sometimes these special surveys and studies they are also undertaken in order to address some of the environmental issues also. Is processed or for processed form approach. Now, some organization they may use secondary data which is processed by government or private agencies. Now, this is often referred to as processed form approach. Now, after seeing all these approaches, what we can understand is that Environmental scanning is something which is absolutely necessary for strategy formulation of any organization. Now, whatever approach is adopted, one thing that is important here is data collection, and on the other hand, processing it systematically is also equally important. And this, processing it systematically is ultimate for strategic management process. So the thing that we discussed, that collecting data is important. So then our question is, from where to collect source of information for environmental scan. Now, these strategists, they use different information sources. Now, this list as to from where information can be collected, now it is a inexhaustive list, okay, and it shall always depend upon the needs of business organization or the variables that are necessary for environmental scanning of a particular industry. Now, the source of information, it can also be formal or informal. Now, the source of information, it can be written as well as verbal, and it can be external or it can be internal. So basically we have two. That so whenever we tell external source, you know all the documented information, or the secondary source of information are like publications. It makes up the external source. Now this could be in the form of newspaper, it can be in the form of magazine, it can be in the form of any business journals or books relating to business. It can be trade and industry association newsletter. Now there are various government department which publishes information of the business on a periodical basis. So all these government publications, they are also one of the external source of business information. You have annual reports of companies, you have information form, then there are various media sources which includes audio, visual and audio-visual methods like radio, television, internet. All these are also external source. And you have external agencies, especially like the customer, the market intermediaries, the suppliers, the trade association, agencies and so on. All these also act as external source. And we have internal sources. To name. Now company files and documents. The MIS, or what we call as management information system, the database the company has, the employees of the companies, or if at all the company has done any kind of formal analysis and studies uh, which has been done with the help of employees or with the help of market research agencies or from a consultancy and from an educational institution. All these are internal source of information for a organization. Now there are also some of the important source of information which is used in especially in Indian context. Now if we speak about the international publication, there are data available which is published by intergovernment and internal agencies like the UN, the UNCTAD, UNESCO, WTO, IMF, OECD, and all other international publications. You have international private data agency like you have Fitch, you have Moody's, you have Standard and Poor. Now these are something which you even use when you do your academic project also. Or you have World Wide Web, uh, online database and system, that is search engines, or online database of government and private data agency. After this, you have government publications. Now, government information sources such as the best example is Census of India report, or earlier we had 5-year plan reports. All these are government publication. They do provide important inputs for planning purpose as well. Now, if not this, you have periodic reports like economic surveys. You have different annual surveys. They do provide current data, and you do also have occasional reports, which is brought out by statutory agency like guidelines, which gives guidelines to industries. You have export import policies which are relevant for business and industry. You have a reference book and encyclopedias. So all this, they provide information. After this, we have institutional publications also. Now they provide information on economic indices, which is published by Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, or CMIE, what we can call it as. And we have publication of market research agencies like NCARE, especially to name the major one. We have publications of trade and industry federations such as CII, FICCI, or NASCOM, ATMA, and we do have annual company reports which are having data relating to balance sheet and profit and loss account. We have periodicals and newspaper. We have industrial sponge agencies. Now these are private agencies which provide information and report on competitors, which might be essential for a company for strategic management. So in today's session, I guess we have discussed a lot. In our next session, we shall see with regarding to the some of the techniques of the environmental scanning. Now I guess you people are ready to tell your attendance. Please do tell one by one.
Raksha.
Yes, one by one.
Swati.
I am unable to hear. Yes,
Raksha.
I heard Raksha,
Swati.
Swati,
Soumya.
Pardana.